Welcome back to the Hockey Shop, source for sports, down here in Goalie Utopia with Cam Matwiv. Between us, we have the new Bauer mask. But before we get to the new 950 and the new 940, you know how we roll here. Every time there's something new, it means there's something, I don't want to say old, but from the past, that goes on sale. And in the case of this year's new Bauer mask line, Cam has some serious discounts on the 950X, a model that is a couple years old, but still has some incredible features. And at under $500 is $200 off the regular price. And Cam's got a bunch of them, especially in smaller sizes. So rather than have me waste your time getting all excited, let's just hand it over to Cam to walk through some of the features.
Here, you figured this out. I got it. 950X, as Kevin called out, the new 950 is what's replaced it. However, that doesn't mean that this is a bad option by any means whatsoever. Some great features about the mask. Its shell itself is basically almost identical to the older 960X PM, which used to be the Pro helmet. The new just 960 is what's replaced it. Quick difference, the Inegra wrap, carbon wrap, was what made that 960 the 960, for example. The 950 doesn't have that, but it still has that same Poron XRD impact liner that was found in that 960 helmet, offering it great comfort, great level of protection overall. This helmet's fantastic for the price point, well worth the look. However, as with all things in goalie, there is always something newer. So,
well, hold on. Before we get to something newer, I just want to go over, because there have been a lot of changes. Bauer's changed sort of the naming of the lines. They've expanded on a lot of us, maybe I'm just old, the traditional 960 that was such a popular line for so many years and like the standard bearer, both in junior and at pro. As it's evolved and as these lines have evolved, rather than get all into the complicated details, why don't you just give me an overview? This is normally a $700 mask. It's on now for under $500.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we look at price points and figure out where that fits in terms of protection and what level we're playing. Where does this fit in terms of, what level? If I'm a beer leaguer, is this overkill, or is this, if I'm playing against some guys that played pro, do I need this level of protection? What age group is of kids? So just give me a feel for, obviously you want as much protection as you can, but give me a feel for where you think this one fits in.
This strikes a balance between both. Like this can go up as high up as junior hockey itself, and I have seen it and still been successful and protective as well. So it gives you a bit more of a budget option, but still offering what is almost equivalent to pro level protection. So it helps to split that difference, and especially for cost conscientious, but not losing that protection value, especially. Great option.
So I'm thinking probably for if you got a kid who's just starting to rise up through the levels, an opportunity to get at a better, more protective mask than what you would normally get for $500, as long as you have them in stock, especially if you have a ton of the smaller sizes.
Well, they last. Yes.
That's the key. So folks, get in here. Make sure you call thehockeyshop.com. Cam, where can they get you if they want specifically to talk about the 950X and that sale?
604-589-8299 or 1-800-567-7790.
Okay, now let's go on to the new. This is what's on sale for the old. Let me have that back. I just like to hold things. So sticking with 950, why don't we walk through the new 950 mask? Cam, let you walk us through the features on that baby while I admire the price point on this.
So Bauer had two lines of helmets that have released this year. 940, which we'll talk about here in a second, and then the 950, which is here now. So this is following in line with the new 960 that released last season. So what's changed? What's different? Foam to start out with. So one of the things that we did find out with the 950 is that the mask itself was very comfortable. However, the foam was a little bit porous and it was also quite tight up against the ears. Bauer sent out to create a little bit more room inside the mask as well as airflow. So they've changed the pattern of the foam itself.
So you can kind of see side by side, you can see the difference, how it's got those little cutouts in the ear that this older generation 950 doesn't. So we found hearing improved, which I don't know that a lot of people thought of, just being able to sort of hear what's going on around you, communicate with teammates. These had a tendency to absorb water and get a little waterlogged. You had to squeeze them out at the end of your games. Those don't as much. And just that feel and fit.
Correct. So layer over top of the foam now to stop some of those pores from absorbing that sweat and moisture as you're playing. So again, a great upgrade in terms of the foam. Pour on still exists in the mask, right up at the cheek area in particular, so especially those side shots, and also that impact straight on, helping to absorb that. The shell itself has changed a little bit, so they've updated it. It's called their Power Comp shell. So what that means, it's also
Power Comp or Power Core? Because I can read it.
Power Core Comp.
Power Core Comp. Okay. I'll take your word for it. It's got power, folks.
It's got power. So what powers it? It is at a base a fiberglass shell, but with carbon fiber as well. So we're mixing basically the best of both worlds into this helmet. So the helmet itself does come out actually as a little bit lighter and equivalent size to that 950. Additional sizing here too as well, following with what they did with the 960. So there is a small, medium, and large, as opposed to being small, medium, and then medium, large. So 3 different sizes to pick from in the 950.
So a lot of the changes that we saw last year in the 960 carried over to the 950 line upgrade for this year.
That's correct.
I don't think we can emphasize enough, folks, the importance of sizing when it comes to masks. And as usual, if you have the opportunity, come see Cam in person so we can make sure you get the right size mask. Dating back to the start of InGoal, when we used to meet with some of the original OG mask makers, guys like Eddie Schultz, fit is just the most important thing. It doesn't matter how much protection you get. If you don't have a good fit, you're compromising safety.
Correct.
And so Cam can get you, whether it's over the phone, taking measurements, he can get you best size, but if you can get here in person, he'll make sure you're sized up good. So good on Bauer. We've seen over the years, they've really expanded the sizing and fit options in their lines. I remember we talked about the original 960, which was the go-to helmet, but it didn't fit all of us. Like, I got a monstrous melon even without the flow, and it's twice as big with all this thick, gorgeous hair of mine. And so there's no way I would fit into a 960 now. Hey, listen, as you approach 50, you cling to whatever you can, and still having hair is a big thing for me. So
moving along, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 940. So completely new this year and redesigned. As some of you might remember, Bauer did have the 940X. This is now a completely different helmet. So this year, Bauer has dropped the Enemy IX that was sitting at that $499 price point. This is part of its replacement, as well as the 940X replacement. This is now a full fiberglass shell as opposed to a polycarbonate, which was the old 940X. Some of the features that do translate down, similar style of airflow foam, not featuring pour-on though, so there's where your differences start to kind of lie. As you can see, different chin cup, different sweatband. Again, we have to make some of these differences as we're kind of tearing through the lineup. What the nice upgrades are: full fiberglass mold available in junior sizing, as well as the small, medium, large in senior. So we still got those 3 additional sizes for the senior as well. Great overall price point helmet. Again, for that rec leaguer that's looking for a fiberglass helmet, those kids that are tearing up, kind of coming through Pee Wee and stuff like that, it's giving them a better option over those polycarbonate options that are usually available at that lower price point.
Okay. Speaking of price points, just go over it for us, the 940 versus the new 950.
So we're still at that similar price point. Back for the 950 was original, so we're about that $700 price point. Back down to splitting the difference at about that $499 price point itself. So again, you're having those different options as you're kind of tearing up through the lineup. However, once again, still that older 950X that we have left over at that $499 price point as well. So another great option for you to consider depending on exactly what the budget is this year and what you're looking for. Another quick option, don't have an example of it, but Bauer has come out with a certified cat eye cage for the Profile series, something that wasn't around before. Now an additional option, something that I believe their Finnish goalies were asking for. Not something you see too often here in North America, but it is an option if it tickles your fancy.
Okay, that's a lot of information we just gave you, including different price points, the sail mask that I'm holding, the 950X. A lot of changes and sort of different features in different lines and different models and new names for Bauer. If you're confused by it all, I suggest there's one simple solution. Make sure you check out the hockeyshop.com. Get in touch with Cam, whether it's by email or over the phone. The numbers again:
604-589-8299. And because I say the 1-800 number really, really, really fast, 1-800 567-7790.
Cam will get you set up with the model that's best for your game, the price point that's best for your game, and the fit that's going to keep you safe. Thanks to Bauer for expanding those fit lines. Like I said, something a lot of us have been really excited about. Not like it's a new thing. It's been happening for the past couple of years, and it's really opened up their mask to a whole wider range of sort of head sizes and shapes. So good on them. Cam, that's it for today. We'll be back next week with some more new gear, maybe some more sale price stuff.
Something new, or maybe something old.